Today we continue our reading of Pope Benedict's journey to Easter. The meditation is taken from chapter 7. The Pope meditates on the parable of the prodigal son, and after paying attention to the prodigal, he shifts focus and invites us to think about the son who stayed at home. When meditating on this parable, we should not forget the figure of the elder son. He is not less important than the younger son, so that it is possible and even perhaps better to speak of the parable of the two brothers. With the figure of the two brothers, the text takes its place in a long biblical history, which begins with the story of Cain and Abel, is taken up again with the brothers of Isaac and Ishmael, Jacob and Esau, and is reinterpreted in various parables by Jesus. In the preaching of Jesus, the figures of the two brothers reflect above all the problem of Israel and the pagan world. So this is layer one of its meaning. It is also not difficult to discover in the parable the pagan world in the figure of the younger son, his life spent far from God. The letter to the Ephesians, for example, says to the pagans, "You were far off." The description of the sins of the pagan world, given in the first chapter of the letter to the Romans, sounds like a list of vices of the prodigal son. Equally, it is not difficult to see in the elder son the chosen people, Israel, always remaining faithful in their father's house. The elder son in Israel expresses his bitterness at that moment of the calling of the pagans, without having to fulfill the obligations of the law. "Lo, these many years I have served you, and I never disobeyed your command." Luke chapter 15, verse 29. But the Pope gives an extra meaning to this story. But the significance of this elder son, this elder brother, is wider still. He represents, in a certain sense, the devout person, those, that is, who have remained with the Father and have not transgressed his commands. At the moment of the sinner's return, he allows envy to arise, to become in the end a secret poison in the depths of his heart. And why this envy? Envy shows that many pious folk cherish in the same way deep in their hearts the desire for foreign parts and what they promise. This is the kind of shadow of the personality of the pious in all of us. Envy shows that such persons have not really understood the beauty of their own home, the happiness of all that is mine is yours, the freedom of the one who is son and heir, So it appears that they nevertheless secretly desire the happiness of a far country, that they have in desire gone off to that country, and they do not know it, will not recognize it. Consequently, their loss of truth is still more dangerous. The necessity for conversion is not evident to them, and in the end they do not go to the feast. In the end they remain outside. So we hear the awful words, "You Capernaum, will you be exalted to heaven? You shall be brought down to Hades. For if the mighty works done in your had been done in Sodom, it would have remained until this day. But I tell you that it shall be more tolerable on that day of judgment for the land of Sodom than for you." The figure of the elder son constrains us to examine our consciences. This figure makes us understand the reinterpretation of the dialogue found in the Sermon of the Mount. Not only outward adultery, but also that inner rapture from God. It is possible to remain at home and go away at the same time. It is possible to remain at home and go away at the same time. That's why in this Lent, let us try to shed light on our shadow side and to become aware of as much as possible of it.